Capitals forward Tom Wilson is set to have a hearing with NHL Player safety for his jaw-breaking hit he delivered to Penguins forward Aston Reese in last night's NHL playoff game. In this video, we're going to discuss the hit and whether or not he should be suspended. And that's coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams. So if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as I mentioned off the top, today we're going to be discussing Capitals forward Tom Wilson. Obviously, he's had a few incidents here during these NHL playoffs that have been kind of borderline calls, and yet, as of right now at least, nothing has resulted in any suspensions, and for the most part, no penalties either. Obviously, Tom Wilson's a player that kind of plays on the edge in that borderline, dirty or clean kind of style. But it looks like it finally have caught up to him here, and Player Safety released him an update earlier today indicating that he was having a hearing for an illegal check to the head. Normally when that happens, they usually do result in a suspension because obviously they're looking at this hit as an illegal check to the head. So let's discuss the action here and see what happened and determine, let you know my thoughts, and then you can leave some comments and let me know yours. Now, if you're looking for footage of the play, there's a link down below in the description, as we've mentioned numerous times on this channel, but just in case you're new, we can't show the footage here because NHL will copyright claim that video, and we're not allowed to do that without having copyright issues with the NHL. So there is a link down below from Sportsnet, who own the rights to be able to show the clip. You can watch the video there in case you missed it, before you can kind of form your opinion and leave some comments here. But jumping into the play here, obviously Tom Wilson's had a few situations. There was one earlier in the Columbus series, and that didn't result in a suspension. That was kind of a borderline call that a lot of people felt he should have been suspended for and didn't. And then we had the Brian Dumoulin situation earlier in his Penguin series. And now he's out injured for a while. I know a lot of fans, especially Penguin fans, but other fans too, thought that hit should have been suspended. I mean, Dumoulin basically got sandwiched between Wilson and Ovechkin, and it did look like Wilson's shoulder made contact with Brian Dumoulin's head, but I guess it was kind of considered incidental contact. It was unavoidable, I guess is how they worded things, which did not result in any additional discipline for Wilson. But in this hit on Aston-Resse, it was a massive, thunderous hit. I was watching the game, seeing it happen, and as soon as it happened, I was like, oh man, that could be a penalty for sure, or possibly a suspension. But when you watch the replays, I had to see a number of different angles. I found it difficult to form an opinion because a lot of the angles they kept showing in the replay, it did look like it wasn't really a dirty hit, and it did look like he made shoulder contact first. But there was one angle that I saw where you could tell that Aston-Resse, he received majority of the blow to the head. I mean, he ended up, there was a fair bit of blood on the ice. He ended up with a broken jaw and a concussion, and there's just no way that would have happened without the head being the focal point of contact. So obviously, Tom Wilson's been kind of developing quite a reputation here, being a dirty player. I know based on the standards, though, a lot of his stuff is kind of borderline. This one, though, I think will result in a suspension. The other thing that I know upset the Penguins and was really kind of low class and really just, I don't know how to describe it, but just quite ignorant on Wilson's part was you could see him on the bench afterwards kind of laughing about the play. Apparently he thought it was funny that he delivered a brain injury to Aston-Resse. There's nothing funny about this, and this is something that they need to work on getting out of the game. Obviously, I love to watch a big hit more just about as well as anybody else. It can be quite a big part of hockey. It's something that we've always enjoyed. But at the same time, you got to remember, these are actually human beings here. They do have lives off the ice. They have, wives, kids, families, etc. A life after hockey. And with everything that we know nowadays about concussions and CTE and all the side effects and things that can develop, not only now when it first happens, but later in life as well, it's something that they need to take a look at. There's nothing absolutely funny about this at all, so I'm not sure why Wilson thought it was so humorous. Obviously, he wouldn't have known right then and there that he was concussed, but he knew he was hurt bad, and regardless of what the injury was, it's not funny in the least. So I think we're more likely going to see, definitely see a suspension here, I think. Not sure how many games. I think definitely one, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's more than one. The other thing, though, I kind of wonder if the NHL might factor in is his attitude towards the play as well. I mean, at the same time, I'm not completely convinced that the NHL is looks after their players as well as they should. There's a lot of inconsistent calls, and in my opinion, maybe they need to tweak the rules, you know, in order to make these kind of hits not be so gray area and so much, you know, indetermination on whether or not they're clean or dirty. Because a lot of times you see these hits and you look at it, and there's such a wide range of opinions out there. You can't predict how the league's going to rule on it anymore. There's just so much gray area that I think that the rules need to be adjusted so that it's a little bit more black and white. It's either it's a clean hit or it's not. They need to take away the headshots. There's plenty of ways you can check your opponent and deliver big hits without attacking the head. It's just that simple. So we'll see what happens here with Tom Wilson. Obviously, I think it's safe to say he will be given a suspension of some sort, but I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments, especially where there is such a wide variety of opinions here, whether or not this was a clean hit or a dirty hit. So I want a comment from you. Was it clean or was it dirty? And if you're on the side that it was dirty, what should the suspension be? Now, there was no penalty called on the play, no major penalties, no game misconducts or anything like that. So at this point, he's received no punishment for it. So I'll be curious to know your thoughts. My take is that he should be suspended. I did see enough of an angle. It did look like there was head-first contact, in my opinion. Plus, like I said, there's no way he would have had a broken jaw and all that blood on the ice if there wasn't, if it was shoulder to shoulder was the primary contact. So that's just. But like I said, there was one angle where you could tell that his head was the main point of contact. So let me know your thoughts down below, and we'll discuss further in the comment section. Now, if you're new to the channel, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams here. There's plenty of content here for all fan bases to enjoy. If you haven't done so already, check us out on Twitter. You're going to see our Twitter handle here on the screen. It's linked down below in the description as well, so check that out. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
We'll be right back.